Welcome to Healing Black Womanhood. I'm your host, spiritual teacher, and healing guide, Itohan, and it's our second podcast. I am so excited about today. I hope that today is going to bring you a lot of value. So today we are talking about masculinity, protection, and Black womanhood. Today we're talking about masculinity, protection, and Black. Today we're talking about masculinity, protection, and Black womanhood. And I am going to attempt, and I say attempt, to share my screen or try to play a video of none other than our great philosopher and teacher, Prince of Pan-Africanism himself, Dr. Umar Johnson, speaking to some young brothers on the podcast. I think this happened last year or a couple of years ago. And I just wanted us to discuss and talk about some of the principles that he was trying to get across to this young man. And I just think it completely went over their head. It completely went over their head. And the reason that I wanted to talk about this today is because part of what is going on with Black men and Black women is that we have forgotten our main principle. The main principle of African civilization is nation building. Everything that we do is for the family. I repeat, the main principle of nation building is the Black family, and everything that we've done is always for from the perspective of nation building and for the family. And we have lost the art of nation building, and it is something that I am hoping to bring back to us. Right? We have lost the heart of harmony, of knowing how to create harmony. We knew how to create harmony and balance within societies as African people. We know this one basic principle that is going to explain everything. This one basic principle that is going to explain everything, and which is that Black men and Black women are different. Black men and Black women are different. We want different things from each other. We don't expect the same things from each other. We don't desire the same things for each other. And for some reason, that seems like such a far-fetched idea to talk about now. For some reason, that seems like some kind of revolutionary thing to say when you say that Black men and Black women are not the same. It seems like it's so revolutionary, but the reason it seems like so revolutionary is because they've spent the better part of the past 2 decades trying to convince women to discard our womanhood and try to be like men. That's what they've done. They have convinced, but maybe 3 decades actually, to discard our womanhood and try to be like men. And consequently, what has happened to us, what has happened as a result of that, is we have the disintegration of the Black family. And I'm not blaming that on the Black family. I'm not blaming this. I'm not blaming the disintegration of the Black family solely on the Black woman. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying, as a consequence of them convincing us to discard our femininity and our womanhood, to discard it and to see it as some kind of a burden, as a consequence of that, we see the disintegration of the Black family. So I really wanted to illustrate, and hopefully I can pull this video up and we can talk about it point for point. And I really want to illustrate what I mean by this and how problematic it is, and how once we start understanding the way in which they play these games that they play with us, and this conditioning and social engineering, hopefully we can somehow get it right and get back to harmony. We can somehow start practicing Ma'at again and understand that we have different roles in society. Men and women have different roles in society. We have different roles within the family structures. Therefore, what a man gets away with, a woman cannot get away with, and what a woman gets away with, a man cannot get away with. That is just the way it is. That's just the way it is. I make the rules. I'm not the creator. This is just the way it is. There's certain ways that men are naturally inclined to be, certain behaviors that is their natural inclination. There's certain behaviors that are like a natural female inclination in the way we're naturally designed to be. But because of social engineering, everything is gone to hell in the handbasket, and everybody wants to be something else, and nobody wants to be who they are, and everybody's complaining about being who they are. Men are complaining about being men and having to be providers and protectors, and women are complaining about being nurturers and having to be mothers. And it is just the most absurd and bizarre thing to me. But once you understand how the system plays the games with us and how they socially engineer us, then you would understand that. But I'm going to tell you right now, let me be clear. If you are confused, or if you have any kind of objection to the sentence, to this statement that men and women are different, if you have any objections to this statement that men and women are different, then this whole video is going to piss you off. I mean, continue watching. Please do. Let me know what you think in the comments, because I really want to have this conversation with us. And as long as we are being respectful, we can always have a conversation. That's all I require, is for us to be respectful. Okay? So it is clear, and it's been clear to me for a while, that Black womanhood is under attack. It is clear to me that Black womanhood is under attack. Black womanhood is under attack, and has been under attack for a long time. It is in a state of crisis. Black womanhood is in a state of crisis. It's clear to me. And I think we can all see that. I think that if you remove your biases, and if you remove the intentional, your refusal to see the truth, I think even you can attest that Black womanhood is in a state of crisis, right? We can all see that. To be fair, though, I will say this. To be fair, though, Black manhood is also in a state of crisis. Black manhood is also absolutely in a state of crisis. But for the work that I do as a healing guide and a spiritual teacher for Black women, as a womanhood guide and spiritual teacher, I deal with Black womanhood and I teach Black women. And I deeply believe that women should teach women and men should teach men. Unless part of the lessons that we need to learn actually overlaps, or it applies to both genders. And in this case, what I'm talking about today, it is applying to both genders. And before I even start, I just want Black men to know, I love you guys so much. There is no separation between me and you. There is no separation between me and a Black man. I love you guys so much. I will always ride for y'all. I will always ride for y'all. And no one rides for us as Black women more than you guys do. And I know that a lot of Black women say Black men don't ride for us. Black men don't protect us. That is not my experience. In my experience, and in most of the communities that I've been in, most of my friends, most of the people that are around me are protected and loved by Black men. But there is an elephant in the room that we must address. There's an elephant in the room that we must address, and that elephant is there is a segment of Black manhood that is complaining about having to be men. There is a segment of Black manhood that is complaining about having to be men, which is why I felt that it is imperative that I have this conversation today. So let me try to pull this up. Let me see if I know how to do this, because this is my second time doing a YouTube live, y'all. I am not, so how do I have mercy? How do I share if I share my screen? But I want to be able to see. Maybe I just won't be able to see myself. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm not supposed to see myself. Maybe I'm just supposed to just share the video. So hold on. wait. Oh yeah, this is it. Oh, this is lovely. Select to share. Oh yes, I figured it out, guys. Oh Lord, no. Okay, this is it.
Understood. You're obviously against interracial relations when it comes to Black men with with white women.
With all women. You should only be with the black woman.
And you will say, well, if you can't find a good woman.
And I agree with him. I agree with him. But that's not what we're talking about today.
In America, there's
somewhere
plenty
else.
in
Absolutely.
Africa. So why not teach that same rhetoric to our women? Like if you feel
I tell sisters all the time.
See, this is part of what I want to talk about. This thing where black men are getting on social media and any platform that we listen and be like, well, how come black women are not doing this? Some black men, let me not even disrespect the name of black men. Let me not even disrespect my brothers, because not all of y'all do this. There's some of y'all that are like Umar, that is like, no, this is a black man's job, right? But this is what I want to talk about when it comes to nation building. This thing that some black men are doing, we're like, well, how come you're not telling black women to do that? He's a black man on a panel with black men. He's not going to be doing that. That is a very, very passive, aggressive posture to take. If you as a man is sitting in the midst of men and you want to complain and talk about what black women are not doing, that is not what he's supposed to be doing. What he's supposed to be doing right here is what he is doing, which is focusing on men, focusing on black men, because he is a man. Number one, he's a black man, and he is sitting in the midst of black men. Help me, somebody, to see if y'all understand what I'm saying.
I'll go to Africa. So I know sisters who marry. I just spoke with a sister. She invited me to the wedding. She just married a brother from the continent.
So, but instead of saying they will never get married, I'll take
sisters to Africa who married brothers they met in Africa.
Right.
So yeah,
I think there's plenty. I think there's obviously plenty of black men,
yes,
black women. So
and what I also tell black women, if you're going to go get you an African man from the continent,
right,
you're going to have to understand that the way in which you talk to black men in America will not be tolerated over there.
Why the fuck is it tolerated? It's not tolerated here. That's what we're trying to tell them.
Well, over here, I want to say this to us, though.
Listen.
Because we try to act like the way sisters treat us doesn't have a history that we are not at least partly responsible for.
This is what I'm saying. We have to be honest. We got to be honest here. And this is the work that I do with black women. I'm going to stop sharing for a second so I can talk to y'all. This is what I do with black women. I talk to black women just like that. Just that real. When I'm talking to black women, I'm not trying to say, well, the men do this and the men do that. And when they try to deflect, I bring them right back to what we're doing. Because it's not our concern to be thinking about what the men do. I'm going to let men like Umar deal with the men and hold men accountable. And that is what, and I just feel like, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to tell you brothers, let me just be real. Let me just be real with y'all for a second. Do y'all know just how unattractive it is to us as women? And this is black woman to black man. I'm just telling y'all. Do y'all know how unattractive it is for y'all to be in the midst of each other, for a group of men to be sitting together, and then all y'all want to talk about is what women are not doing, and how somebody's not, and y'all want to complain about not wanting to be a man, not wanting to provide. How come I have to provide? Do y'all know how unattractive it is? Do y'all know how unattractive it is that when a masculine man is talking to some of y'all and y'all want to talk about what the women are not doing and want to deflect all the time? That is such a feminine posture. That is such feminine energy. And I know that the reason that it's like that, because it never used to be like that. It never used to be like that because my father's generation weren't doing that. But is this generation that is 40 and under that are doing that. And it is by no coincidence that that's also the same generation, probably 45 and under. That's also the same generation that were raised, that were predominantly raised by single mothers. Because the generation that's older than 50 don't do that. They take it on the chin. They're not sitting around complaining about what women are not doing. They're not sitting around talking about and deflecting. They take responsibility and accountability for stuff. They don't complain about having to be providers. And I'm just telling y'all right now, brothers, it is unattractive. Sisters, if y'all hear me, do y'all agree? Leave it in a comment to me if it's unattractive to you guys, if you guys agree with what I'm saying, because I just think that we have to start telling the truth to Black men. And like I said, not all Black men do this. Not all Black men do this, okay? Let's continue. Let's continue. Let me see. I'm going to share my screen again. I figured it out the first time. Let's see if I can do it again. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, share.
Let's be honest. The Black woman has had to hold down the Black house by herself, although imperfectly. She's had to do it by herself since the mass incarceration of Black males began in the 1970s. You understand me? Most of our children are raised by a single mother right now. And it has been that way for about 50 years. So when a sister says, I don't need a man, because she couldn't find one strong enough to hold her down. Or when you meet a woman and you say, sister, I'm strong enough to be your man. You ain't got to work or you ain't got to pay the bills or whatever. Pull back. I got you. And she can't do it because all the other men before you who disappointed her. So what I'm saying is, Black men, we got to be patient with our women because we created that personality. We created that. And then we want to act like we didn't play a role.
We have to be held accountable for their poor selection.
No, you have to be held accountable. No, you have to be held accountable because they have a poor selection. See,
this is why Black manhood rites of passage is necessary. Y'all see? You see how Umar, who was raised by a man, who was raised by a father, was saying, no, we have to hold ourselves accountable that as women are in the position that they are in. And let me be clear to you guys, I am not excusing at all what Black women do and the roles that Black women are playing and the things that we're doing. I as a teacher, that's what I do. I hold Black women accountable every day. You go through my Instagram page, you're going to see that. So I'm not one of these feminists that don't like men. I love Black men, but we have to, as this nation building thing that we're doing, as we are repairing the Black family, we have to be able to be truthful. And the truth is that Black men, you guys have to hold yourself accountable in some ways, in some parts, for the posture that Black women hold. And it is not all y'all's fault. It's not. The problem, the original problem is white supremacy and racism. That is the original problem. The original problem is the Yurugu. That's who created this. That is who is socially engineering Black women, but that's also who is socially engineering Black men. And Black men, to an extent, do not understand that you guys are being just as affected by the social engineering as Black women are. For some reason, you guys have a whole lot of clarity. You have a whole lot of clarity about what is happening to Black women, about how Black women are causing a lot of dysfunction and things like that, and disintegration of the Black family, and that we're causing what is going on with the Black children. You guys have like superb 2020 vision even of the problem when it comes to Black women. But when it comes to Black manhood, you guys, then you want to be mom. You want to act like, oh, you know, it's both people. It's her and then why is she picking wrongly? And we got to be responsible for her poor decision. We got to be responsible for our poor decision. Brothers, this is about collective responsibility. There's a part of the responsibility that lies solely at the feet of the Black woman, but there's also a part of the responsibility that lies solely at the feet of Black men. And we cannot repair the Black family if we're not able to tackle both. That's not going to happen. So we have to be willing to be honest and have this honest conversation, but this honest conversations about what is happening with the Black family. And the truth is the Black man and the Black woman are both at fault. And the truth is, the even grander truth is that we are not the only ones at fault. The grander truth is that white supremacy and racism It's conditioned and socially engineer us to be agents of destructions of our own family structures. And that is the truth. But now that we know that that is the truth and that it is self-evident, now what are we going to do? Are we going to keep pointing fingers at each other? Or are we going to sit in, strap our boots up, and get to working? Because the deflection is the thing that I can't take. And it's not on Umar to sit there on the stage with 3 or 4 black men talking about what the women are doing. He's giving a lesson. He's giving a lesson in manhood. He's giving a lesson in manhood. He's saying, man, brothers, we got to take this on. We got to put this on our shoulders. So even if it's not your fault individually, it is our fault collectively. And that's the same thing I teach black women. Even if it's not our fault individually, that you got this women out here doing the least and expecting the most and complaining about womanhood and complaining about being mothers and complaining about being nurturers and wanting everything for nothing, wanting something for nothing. It's all our responsibility. And we got to all hold ourselves accountable. And when you hold yourselves accountable, then you're able to hold your fellow black women accountable, and black men, you're able to hold your fellow black men accountable. Each one teach one. So that is what he's trying to teach this, brothers. Let's continue watching.
What you're saying, you're selecting a poor mate. And what I'm saying is they don't have.
Let me stop for a second. Let me come back. Welcome to Healing Black Womanhood. My name is Itohan. I am here. Let me ask you to please comment. What is it? Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm new. Like, comment, and subscribe. If this channel, if this video is bringing you any type of value, if you're getting anything from this, if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, if you think that we can have a larger conversation, we can flush it out, please leave that in the comments. I love it. You guys leaving comments is going to help YouTube recognize my small channel. I'm not going to be small for long though, because I got stuff to say. I'm not going to be small for long, but you can say, I knew her when she only had 3 subscribers. I knew her when she only had 10 subscribers. I knew her when she only had 100 subscribers. Oh my gosh, when I get 100 subscribers, y'all ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing. So like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It's gonna help me climb up in the ranks, and it's gonna help YouTube and the algorithm, Mr. Algorithm, recognize who I am, okay? And I really do appreciate it. But I don't want to have to keep begging y'all to like, comment, and subscribe. Because y'all know I am fascinated. I'm interested. And y'all know y'all want to get all this tea, okay? So let's continue. Let me go back to the video and see what he's saying. I'm going to rewind just a little bit. Watch this. Ooh, Lord, have mercy. Okay.
Boys to be the men our community needs. Black men are not raising black boys to be the black men are not raising because we created that personality. We created that, and then we want to act like we didn't play a role.
We have to be held accountable for their poor selection.
No, you have to be held accountable. No, you have to be held accountable because they have a poor selection. See, what you're saying, you're selecting a poor mate. And what I'm saying is they don't have much to select one. So of course you're going to end up with a poor mate. And why is she going to end up with a poor mate? Because we as black men are not raising black boys to be the men that our women need. We are not. They out there killing themselves right now. What we doing about it? Unemployed black.
Do y'all get what he's saying? That's nation building. Because if you heard me a few minutes ago, I said part of the reason that this man, that 45 and younger, are complaining about manhood, complaining about why do they have to be the providers and the protectors, complaining about why do they have to do all this work, is because most of them were raised by single mothers. That is the conversation we have to have. Not blaming it on the women, Not blaming on the woman, but how can she be a single mother? If you did not impregnate her and leave her to deal with the children on her own, to raise these kids on her own, knowing that that's not her natural skill set to raise children by herself. Yes. Should she choose better? Absolutely. Should she choose better? Absolutely. And when I talk to my women, I teach them that. The art of mate selection, I teach that. But right now, he is talking to Black men about, if you did not make her a single mother, she won't be a single mother in the first place. And if she's not left to be a single mother, then your children, your boys will not be out there killing each other because you are not in the house with them. What some Black men want to do is they want to extricate their responsibility from the way the Black family is, but want to point all the fingers at Black women, at Black women. And I'm not saying that Black women don't have a role to play in that. I'm just saying that there's enough blame to go around. So we have a choice here. We can either blame each other. We can either keep blaming each other and going around in the merry-go-round, going around in a circle, going around in circles, blaming each other. Or we can stop the merry-go-round and decide, okay, you know what? It's enough for blame. It's enough for blame from the name blame, for the blame name of name blame. It's enough for blaming each other. What are we going to do to save our children? What are we going to do to save Black families? What are we going to do? What, and I'm asking you guys right now, what are you going to do to save the Black family? Any and all ideas that are serious are welcomed. Leave your idea in a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know of this conversation with Umar and the brothers, okay? Let's see. I'm going to play a little bit piece more and then I'll come back.
Males, what we doing about it? Pants sagging, weed smoking, what we doing about it? Black men are not raising Black boys to be the men our community needs. That is 100% our fault. What I'm saying is she got a right to be angry with us. She got a right to be angry with us. We have not been on our job as Black men. If the men are the providers, what have we been providing for our community? I'm not speaking you individually.
Yes.
Because you may be a damn good father. You may be a damn good father. You may be a damn good father. But guess what? What are we doing for the community? What are we doing for the children who don't have a father? You don't think the Black woman got a right to be angry when she's been raising 2/3 of the kids by herself for 50 years? And the minute she raised her voice, we say she's not humble enough. She had to become masculine to survive the rape, the molestation, the domestic abuse. Are you telling me you can't see how we created that?
I understand that, but she needs to be more
If we was loving
selective.
our women and taking care of our women, do you think she would be like that? That personality has a history.
If she's picking Pookie and Ray Ray instead of
you're making her a scapegoat.
No, she's picking a scapegoat.
No.
There's good quality men that they ignore.
Why she even got it? Why is there even a Pookie in the selection?
Oh my God, active conversations are it can be so exhausting because they're missing the whole point. They're missing the whole point of what Umar is saying. And this is part of what happens with us as Black people. We go on this individualism rant. But I'm doing this, but he's not talking about them personally. He's talking about us as a race of people. What are we doing? What are we doing? The fact that there are single mothers out here means that some man is out there sleeping with women and leaving them. Now, some men are out there just dropping their seeds everywhere and not being responsible for their offsprings. That is what he's talking about. So she wouldn't be a single mother if some Black men did not make her a single mother. That's what he's talking about. He's actually talking about nation building. And sometimes, and I don't know if this particular brothers don't even understand what he's saying, or if the subject matter is just completely going over their heads. But it's just like, it's not that complicated, guys. Part of the reason why we make it as complicated as we want, as we think it is, part of the reason we make it this complicated is because we don't want to hold ourselves accountable for our actions as Black people. And I'm not talking about individually. So don't get on here telling me, well, you do, I do this. I'm not talking about you. Chances are, if you're listening to me, you probably are. You probably are in your children's lives. I wasn't raised. My father was in my life. I was raised by strong men. So clearly, I'm not talking about all men. My father was a provider and a protector. So I'm not talking about that, but that doesn't mean I cannot see the larger picture. Just because that's my story does not mean I have to pretend like that is the story. That's not the story. Over 70% of Black households are being led by a single mother. That is the problem. And until we start dealing with those facts that are not subject to opinions, that are not objective, that are not subjective, over 70% of Black households are being led by a woman. That is an objective fact. That is not subject to interpretation. That is not my interpretation. That is not my conclusion. That is what it is. So what are we going to do about it? And what can we do about it? And I'm here to tell you, we can do a lot about it. But the first thing that we have to do is that we have to understand that it is a problem. And we have to understand, Black men have to understand, and I don't want to teach you guys because I'm not a man. I don't teach Black manhood. I teach Black womanhood. But I think it needs to be said by a woman that loves you all dearly. I love Black men. I love my brothers. When I tell y'all I love y'all, when I tell y'all that I love y'all, everything about y'all I love. But for me to ignore this and to not speak on it would be disingenuous, because I cannot teach my women what I teach my women about Black womanhood, about taking accountability, about choosing the right mates, about not sleeping with everything that comes around with a penis. I can't do all that with them, and I cannot hold them accountable for their actions, and I can't hold them accountable for the decisions that they make, and I cannot teach them how to be better mothers and better selectors if I don't talk about this part. So it's not that I'm coming down on you guys. It's not that I'm saying there's something wrong with Black men. It's that I'm saying there's something wrong with us as a people, and we need to heal. And nation building has to be the first order of business. Restoring the Black family has to be a first order of business. Restoring the Black family has to be the first order of business. This is it. This is state of the Black Union. This is state of the Black Union. Restoring the Black family. Let me make sure I wrote my notes down, because I want to make sure that I'm counting. I'm talking about everything. And and I said earlier on, like you as from a Black woman to a Black man, you don't really, brothers, y'all don't really understand how unattractive it looks to us when you guys get on these platforms, get on social media, on this podcast, and complain about Black women. Oh my gosh, it is so disheartening. And it sounds so weak and so passive. And I know where it stems from. And they wanted him to get up there and talk about what Black women are not doing. No self-respecting man is going to get on a public platform and berate his own women. Because masculine men protect their women. Masculine men protect their women with their own lives, with their very lives. So they want him to get up there and talk about Black women with Black women. That's not right. He's not going to do that because he's a masculine man. That's not what masculinity does. Masculinity provides and protects. Masculinity provides and protects. Far be it from me to tell you what to do, how you should conduct yourself as a man, but I'm trying to tell you, I know a little something about it. And when you guys get on these platforms and get on this podcast and you berate your own women, I am telling you, that is the weakest shit ever. That is the most passive ass shit. And we don't respect that. We don't respect that. We can have a constructive conversation about what is going on. We can have a constructive conversation about where you feel like we fall short as Black women. And then Black women can tell you, well, we see that you fall short as Black men. But to get on these platforms and have episodes upon episodes berating your own women is weak. And I can't even put it in nice. I can't put it any nicer than that. It's weak, brothers. And I know not all of y'all are doing this. I'm talking about the ones that do it. Because I love all of y'all. So the ones that are doing it, it's weak. And I'm going to tell you one more thing. If you don't have a natural inclination as a Black man to protect Black women, hold on. If you don't have a natural inclination as a Black man to protect Black women, if you don't have a natural inclination as a Black man to protect Black women as a whole, you are way too tapped into your feminine energy. If you do not have a natural inclination to protect Black women as a whole, as a Black man, and you don't have a natural inclination to protect Black women as a whole, you are way too tapped into your feminine. And that is just a weak posture. That is passive. And you are not a masculine man. You are not a masculine man. You are not a masculine man. I'm sorry to say that to you. I'm sorry to say that to you. You're not a masculine man. Because masculine men protect women and children. That is natural to them. They have a natural desire to do it. Masculine men have a natural desire to protect women. And so if you are a Black man and you don't have a natural inclination to protect Black women, and you can get on this podcast and these platforms and berate your own mothers and your sisters and your cousins and Black women in general, then sir, you are way too tapped into your into your feminine. You are way too tapped into your feminine, and that is a passive posture, and that is weak to us. That is weak to us, and that's why you get up here and you complain about being a man. You get up here and complain about why do they want to? Why do I have to protect? Why do I have to provide? Why can't they do 50-50? We should do 50-50. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. You don't have a natural right. You don't have a natural inclination to protect Black women. And before you make anybody's child pregnant, before you become anybody's child's husband, you need to go into manhood training. Not with me though, because I don't teach men how to be men. I teach women how to be women. I teach Black women how to tap into their Black womanhood. But I'm telling you, I train my women to run away from a guy like you. Run, don't walk. Because he's going to leave you out here husbandless. He's going to leave your children fatherless. He's going to leave you uncovered and unprotected. And you can forget the providing. But yeah, don't worry though. I'm going to come back and do another episode. I know I came down hard on you guys today. And in the interest of time, it is almost 40 minutes. I'm going to stop here. But I know that I came down hard on you guys, but you guys need to hear it from a Black woman that loves y'all. Because I do. I love y'all. I love the Black family. And everything that I do is about restoring the Black family and nation building. My name is Etohan. Thank you. I was here. I appreciate y'all. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Okay. And I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.